All right. Merry Christmas. Let's do a Christmas chess quiz, shall we? I think this will be fun. You try to guess when this chess game was played, and I'm going to go ahead and play it. And I'm not going to tell you who the players are because that'll help give it away. You just guess when this game was played. And in the meantime, let's enjoy a really interesting game of chess here. White will play knight f5, knight c6. Are we going to get a Ruy Lopez? No, we get a Gioco Piano. Yeah, the Italian game. Bishop c5, matching c3. Going to prepare for the d4 push, of course. Queen e7 is going to protect the pawn from the knight in case the knight is pinned. We shall see. Here comes d4 right there. Just blam right now. Blam. Attack the center. Attack the center. That's the point. Bishop mops back to b6. Interesting move, right? White's going to castle. And we're going to get a d6 supporting the center, leaving the tension in the center. Always interesting when they do that, isn't it? a4. Let's get the queen side moving. Nope. a5. Let's just stop all shenanigans on the queen side right now. Okay, well, then let's try bishop e3. Get the pieces developed. Get them out there. Be able to fight hard and fight well. Knight f6 coming up. It's getting to be a very complex board with tension in the center, right? This is going to be interesting. D is going to be the first to draw blood. D takes e5. Knight takes e5. The response with the knight taking, leaving the d pawn here, kind of interesting. Let's see what this does for the position, because now the knight's going to take the knight. So we're exchanging knights, and now the d will respond by taking the knight. So what now? White decides, since we've begun to exchange, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that bishop right there. I'm going to take that guy. C pawn, doubling up the pawns on the B file. Is that going to do anything interesting? Well, let's find out. Once again, notice bringing in more pieces. Always a good strategy in the long run. Notice the early castling. Also a good strategy in chess in the long run, without question. Queen comes to e2, building up a battery with the bishop. Who knows what that's going to build up to, right? Bishop d7, once again, bringing more pieces into the game. Rook a to d1, grab the file. Yes, sir. That's always a good thing to do. And now the bishop will take the a4 pawn. What was white thinking? Why on earth would you move your rook over and lose your a pawn? Because now that gives black a chance to proceed on the queen side. However, there are that double pawn thing happening there. There's that problem there. b3, kick the bishop back, who bumps back to c6. And now that this side is taken care of, or so white likes to imagine, he's going to push the f4. Very interesting. f4. What do you do when your opponent begins to attack your central pawn? You ignore it, and you put your rook on the file, pinning the knight to the rook, right? So f goes ahead and proceeds to attack, taking the e-pawn, hitting the knight, a central knight, mind you. No problem. The queen's right there. Nice centralization of the queen. Queen takes e5. But now there's another interesting issue here. Because of the nature of pushing that f pawn, it gave that rook a partial open file, and white is going to use that attack the queen. Ooh, nice move. Queen comes over to c6, check. Or no, sorry. Queen went to d6 first, came up to d6, and then the e5 pawn bumped up, attacking the queen again. And now the queen goes to c6 check. And of course, the king is going to move out of check, of course. And now black does something very interesting. Knight to e4. Good centralization coming into white territory. A pretty decent development. White has a pretty decent development, but the center has been more or less cleared out of pawns. So what's going to happen now? Once again, the knight will take the central knight. The exchange of the knights occur, but rook is going to take d1 check. Kablam. Use that open file. The rook's on the open file for one reason, to use it. Well, I mean, the queen can take the rook. So what was the point of that? This is what makes this game so fantastically interesting, because now the bishop strikes and takes the knight, deflecting the defender of the knight so that the bishop can take the knight. However, white now has a chance to go kablam and take the pawn. Whoa, what is going on here? The rook will take the rook, of course. However, when we find ourselves in this kind of a situation, we have to be careful because he's deliberately putting himself in a pin on the king. And now the queen comes up to d8, check, which is, whoa. The only option is queen to f8. And now the bishop takes the rook, check. Whoa, the king takes the bishop, no more check. The pawn bumps up past pawn, which I've said in numerous videos, becomes the most powerful piece on the board. You gotta watch those. But the king can't take that pawn. Otherwise, he's way open in trouble. So he comes back, and the pawn goes to here, and black resigns. That's a pretty sophisticated game. That was a well done Gioco Piano. Go ahead and guess what year this game was played. You'll never believe it if I tell you. So I'm not gonna tell you. Leave your thoughts in the comments, and I'll let you know how close you are when I read several of the comments. You guys are probably going to cheat and look it up. It's all good. Quite a game for when it was played. So there is your Merry Christmas chess quiz. Yeah, baby. You gotta love it. All right. Hope you guys are having a great holiday. I'll be back with more chess videos. In the meantime, I'm going to go off and enjoy the rest of my Christmas.